What a lovely morning. I couldn't have woken up in a more positive mood. Now let's see what positive discourse is being talked about online. Because everyone knows Twitter and TikTok are places where cordial and respectful conversations happen.
This is a very unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating.
If I ever get pregnant with a son, I'm returning it to the sender because I don't want to raise one. I
keep going. You can't divorce. I mean, that's not a real thing. That should be outlawed. You legally actually should not be able.
If I have to pick between being alone in the woods with a man or with a bear, I'm picking the bear. Every time.
Another day. Waking up every day and seeing grown men and women argue about this all the time will never not be annoying. It's like no matter what I do, it stumbles onto my social media feed somehow. Like a virus that can't be stopped with any drug, antidote, vaccine, or anything. And I'll first start off with the men's side of this whole gender war. One of the main reasons I can't take this gender war serious with the men's side of it was when I learned there was a hierarchy for men or something. Alpha male, sigma male, beta male? Like are you a getting male or a making money male? That's the only thing that matters. If you're one of these dudes that sits down and studies these breeds of men like you got a test the next day, you need help. Like you'll hear dudes say,
man, there's no point in even being in a relationship really until you're alpha male material.
Honestly, just claiming yourself as the alpha male is cringe as to me. And the funny thing is, there's so many different types of men a girl will go for anyways. And then they started adding medicine terminology to it. Red pill, blue pill, black pill. Like there is no way you navigate the world with an imaginary pill on your mind. A lot of these dudes in the gender war always argue that they want a more traditional relationship and all girls are hoes nowadays, so we're screwed. But y'all acting like every girl is Ice Spice. If that's the only girls you run into, then you're probably the problem. And for the whole traditional relationship, you know, stay-at-home wife who does the cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids, I have no problem with both sides agreeing that's how they run their relationship. But if you're saying this and working at a goddamn Walmart or McDonald's, you are not included in this conversation. Like 99% of relationships cannot work like this in modern times. Families can barely even afford to live together with their salaries combined. So if you're going into a relationship with this mindset and can't provide, your whole brain gotta be rewired. If y'all are working the same hours of a grueling 9 to 5, you can't expect all the chores to be put on her. If anything, I feel like it's less manly if you don't know how to do simple chores like cooking and cleaning. I genuinely wonder how y'all have survived all this time without learning these basic life skills. These are the first things my parents started teaching me as a general life skill to survive. Like, you know, some shit you could use if you're in the jungle and have to survive for your life. I feel like y'all really only complain about this because you saw it on Fresh and Fit or something. And that's another reason I can't take this gender war serious with men is all these goofy podcast clips I be seeing. Like, I'll see some points that are valid and be like, okay. Then the next clip after will be like, and fellas, that's why we have to ban women's rights. What the are you talking about, bruh? Where did this shift come from? That was the main way Andrew Tate was getting big. Yo, Andrew Tate in the big 2024 is crazy. I can never take these podcast dudes seriously when they've never been in a stable relationship in their life. You'd have a better chance getting hit by lightning than finding these dudes in a happy marriage. About 99% of women are gonna see what they say online and bolt out of there immediately. Looking up to these podcast dudes for Riz advice is the most cringiest thing of all time, because really think to yourself, did anyone, whether it was your dad, uncle, or older family member, ever look up some advice from Fresh and Fit before marrying and having a kid? They just went with the flow, bruh. They didn't have a whole football layout to it. Also, dudes will complain about all these women posting their standards online, but y'all low-key be the same way. Maybe not as crazy as the X trend. I'm glad that trend's dead. But you'll want the IG looking model who can take care of the kids and cook while also making 6 figs a year. Meanwhile, you out here built like Peter Griffin working the Target register. Knowing your playing field is the most important thing as a man. Not everyone can be in the D1 league. Some of y'all gotta stay in tranny wheels. Like, if you don't got a chance, bro, being in her comment section putting heart eyes is not gonna woo her. That's a one-way ticket to the block list. The amount of down bad dudes I'll see in even a regular girl's comment section is concerning. You can like the page all you want, stalk the page all you want, but being in the comments is a different level of sad. Now let's move on to the women's side of it. One of the main reasons the women's side of it annoys me so much is how acceptable it is to just on men. There could be no types of criticism made, no types of points made. A girl could just post a TikTok saying, "I hate all men," and the whole comment section is erupting like a soccer stadium after a goal. You couldn't pay 10 Dunkin' Donuts to have more glaze than those comment sections. I'll never forget online when hashtag kill all men was trending. Like, how does this resolve anything? You think a dude that's a chronic misogynist is gonna see this and go, you know what? My ways were wrong. The way I think how all women are disgusting, the way I was angry all the time about it, from this day forth, I'm a new man! And then if you call out them being misandrous, they go ahead and reply with, obviously not all men. Clearly if you were offended, then you must be one of them. Then change the message name! I don't even understand the logistics of biologically hating a whole gender. Like, first off, without that gender, you wouldn't have been splooged into existence. And that gender gave you basically everything you used to make that post. The Wi-Fi you use, the internet you're using, the phone you use, the app you use to post it. I could never go online and just type out "I hate all women," because that would be disrespectful to all the good women in my life. I'll see girls in happy relationships, even happy marriages, and they in comment sections typing out how horrible men are. If you thought men were so horrible and such terrible creatures, why'd you get with one for a lifelong commitment? And the excuse for all of them is, it's not the men they're friends and family with, it's just every other man after that. Does your family and friends just got a special gene or something different from every other man? A lot of women in the gender war argue that they can't find a good man and men used to be better back then, which has got to be the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Men have been adapting better and better with each generation. For every new generation, they've been understanding the ways of how a relationship should run. Even in marriages, more guys would do something like getting couples therapy than the past. Ask a man married in the 60s if he'd do that, and he'll spit at you for even assuming he would do it. Like, if you want to go back to the 60s so they can sing you love songs, then beat you when you burn the lasagna, go ahead. If you're saying this also while having 50 things listed on what you need in a man, just go ahead and hang the white flag up, bruh. Maybe that mystical man will appear in your dreams or a superhero movie one day, but he ain't real. Then you got girls saying they won't settle for a man nowadays unless he hits the 6 figures. A girl will just turn 18 and immediately suspect it because some girl said it on TikTok. The percentage of dudes making this while young is in the 0.1 percentile, and who says those dudes even want you? How would you even search for a specific man like this? Do you have a GPS leading to him? The average salary in the US is $63K per year, and you think a dude who just came out of high school or college is gonna have that? And a lot of the words used are genuinely just toxic. Use them as a wallet, sis. Teehee. Oh, so it's f all men. They can vanish into existence, but when you need some money because you're too lazy to work, that's when they're cool. Also, girls in the gender war will come up with the stupidest arguments I've ever seen. Like, there's this whole trend on TikTok of asking women who would they rather be in a forest with. A man versus a bear. And the logical response, of course, is a man, because a bear would tear you from limb to limb. But in almost every comment section, you see a slew of women replying with, well, a bear, of course. I mean, the bear wouldn't chase me down the street at midnight. The bear wouldn't try to snatch me and throw me in a van unwillingly. Apparently to all these girls, every man is Griffith or Epstein. Like, is there not a single good man in your life, family, or friends, something? Who are y'all running into on a daily basis? It must be absolute villains. This type of shit is no different from the alpha dudes who go online and say every girl is a hoe. A regular dude could see this and literally lead down a rabbit hole of hating women. I know this because I'll get mad at seeing this dumb shit, then realize like 5 seconds after these women are not real people. They just exist in the digital landscape. And a lot of times I notice that anytime a girl does step up and say they disagree, they immediately get called a pick-me and sent to purgatory to rot. So it's either you glaze with all the other girls or you're shunned into purgatory. So overall, the whole gender war thing online is the most corniest of all time to me. Y'all can argue all y'all want, but y'all are the exact same people in reverse. You would have think this argument would have ended after like elementary school and girls and boys thought each other had cooties. But I'm glad to know we haven't changed as a society. Amazing progress. I feel like the best way to combat this is anytime you see a post of one of these things, just put not interested in the post or ignore it, because you know you're gonna be mad when you see it already. Or go into it thinking these people don't exist in real life. I hate to see people in real life end up with these chronically online takes, because, you know, it just shows that this virus is spreading. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.